Hello, beautiful artisans. Welcome to Echo Art with Carmella-T. I hope that you're having a beautiful Saturday. We have snow today here in Vermont, and I want to share with you a little bit of my snow walk this morning. And if you are new to the channel, welcome to the channel. It is free to jump on board. Come and join the community. And we create with all recycled materials, fabrics, and supplies. It's our way to give the earth a little hug. And if you are coming back, thank you so much for coming back. I loved your comments, your support, and your kindness and understanding, and all of it with the last video. You're very, very sweet and very understanding, and I greatly appreciate it. So check this out. I took a little walk this morning, and that is a little crab tree. It is the most adorable um, crab tree that it has all the little berries on it, you see? And and there's a pine right next to it. Those are the most beautiful. I know we have a few willow trees in the neighborhood that are just lovely also. But I wanted to share that with you. I will try to get that onto YouTube with a little music. It's going to go over to TikTok with some music also. So the other thing I wanted to share with you is check these out. These are pot holders. But both of them together, they cost $1, probably $1.25 because I got them at the dollar store. But I wanted to show them to you because the idea of surrounding yourself with the aesthetics of Christmas or holiday, it makes you smile. You know, it cheers you up. If you're not having you don't have to have a house full of a family of people to decorate for your body, mind, and soul. And then you have a cup of coffee with somebody or you share your space. That's a very nice thing to do. So that I wanted to share with you. The other thing is um, my projects. So I have this coffee that is my second cup that I'm having to sip, probably because I took a walk out in the cold. It's an age thing. So this is the Boro hat I am working on, WIP. It's just all pinned. I'm going to start a second one today too, and that one will have maple leaves. I cut out my maple leaves already. I have the crown ready, and I have a few panels. So I want to share that with you. I'll share that with you this week. But this one is just a patch, all patches. So this one will have a lining that goes in as a full lining. The panel, we will do the lining for each panel and make it easier that way. So this is, I just wanted to point this out to you for those of you who love to do your Boro. As you know, Boro began way back, probably before the 1400s. I mean, and there's evidence of different patchworks thousands of years ago. However, primarily in Japan in the 1400s, the poor, very poor families, laborers, mostly of fishermen, farmers, and whatnot, were in a position where things were so expensive, coats and hats, they couldn't afford to buy them. So they started to patch what they had. Now, when they were patching, they were using material that was extremely worn and tattered, much like this. So it took lots and lots of patches, and that's what you see in the museums are very thick pieces of quilts, coats, and because they needed many, many patches to create warmth because they were thin like that. Today, they're purposely distressing and stressing the fabric to create an aesthetic or a style. But so this was just naturally there on the denim, so I'm going to leave that as it is. So that's just a little note for those of you who are out there and you're serious about your Boro sashiko. So I will be first hand sewing this all together, and then I'll go in with my machine stitching. Remember, switch over to your denim needles because your embroidery needles will snap with a seam like this. So I'm going to put this down. And so the next project, oh, I wanted to, oh, yeah, here it is. Then this is the next project. Okay, so this is um, a granny square blanket. Some of you may recognize this as it is on my YouTube channel, and with the beautiful little fringes. And so all different colors. Now, the thing with this is I used a medium to lightweight yarn, all scrap yarns. And it's similar, all acrylic, by the way. These are all acrylic, and a larger needle, crochet hook. So it was about an L. So these are different sizes right here, by the way. And look, this is called a broomstick crochet hook. I think this is the size I used. Now, for this particular project, I am going to use, I got it over here actually, and I want to say this is a J. So I'm using a J hook. So that's smaller. And the reason is I want my stitching to be tighter. And I'm going to use medium to thick weight, heavy weight yarn. And it will be soft. So it will be similar to this in that I'm using all different colors to create the granny square. So I'll be tying off and then weaving them in. And you know, when you weave them in, the best way is not, in my opinion, is not to weave them straight in, but if you can do it, to weave them in on an angle, because the yarn has memory. So if you can do a little bit of a labyrinth, more or less, and you'll know when it falls. When it falls, if it's sticking up like that, it's going to pull out. If it just falls, the tail falls, you'll know you've gone in far enough, it's kind of locked itself in. So with that, and of course with a knot before you do your little weaving. So now with that, I will show those of you who do not know how to do a granny square, how to start your granny square blanket and to do a granny square. So let's see, I'm going to start with this because it's a nice, I like the variegated look of that. And we're going to leave a nice tail at the end of that because I want to weave that all the way in. Okay, so a lot of people will do chain 6. I think chain 4 is not enough, but chain 5 I think is really good. So I do chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, a note on tension before we begin. When you use a smaller hook with a thicker yarn, it creates a tighter stitch automatically without you pulling down. If you pull down on your yarn, you're going to create tightness of the tension. If you pull up on that loop, you're going to create a looseness. So you just want the yarn to fall onto your hook. So, okay, we did 5. We did a chain 5. Now I'm just doing a slip stitch and to connect it. And now I'm doing for my first double crochet, and just to kind of for those of you who don't know, I like to tell you exactly what I'm doing here, okay? Some instructors will tell you what they're doing step by step, and you're like, well, what am I doing? You'll know at the end, but I'm going to tell you at the beginning. So you're going to do 4 sets of 3 double crochets with 2 stitches in between. So that's how we're going to begin our granny square. It'll be a tiny little granny square, and I just love it. So we're going to do this. 1, 2, 3. Okay? And then you're going to come into the center of your magic circle, whatever you want to call it, and you're going to make a double crochet. So that's 2 double crochet because the chain 3 counts as 1 double crochet. And then you're going to come through again. Whoops. And you're going to make your 3rd double crochet. So there's your first set of 3 double crochet. Now I'm chaining 2, 1, 2. Let's see, a piece of thread got caught on there, so I'm going to do that chain again. Now I'm starting my next set. Get my tail out of the way there. My next set of 3 double crochet. So there's 1, 2, 3. Now, if I pulled on that, it would buckle. It would curl like this. It would curl. You know that the tension's too tight right there. Pull out the stitches and make sure your tension is flowing nicely the way you want it. So chain 2, 1, 2. Back in my center here, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, and 3 double crochet. And then chain 2, 1, 2. So see now so far we have three sets of our double crochets. And by the way, that's kind of like a half circle if you want to use it for something else. You notice these things along the way. So now we've got 1 double crochet, 2, and 3. Okay, now we're going to close it, and we're going to do that by chaining 1, 2. And over here they say count 3, 1, 2, 3. Count 3 stitches or spaces there and connect it. Now I get my scissors and I'm going to clip, because you noticed in some of my projects I just continued. But this one, I want this to be super pretty, and I don't want to continue. I want to change my yarn as I go along. So, okay, so whoops, let me turn it this way so you can see. That's adorable. Okay, now I'm just going to, for those of you who are not sure how to get your different colors and to continue, these are just granny squares that I did to make another hat. And people love the granny square hats. So I'm continuing these hats right here. You've seen me wear it, and it's adorable, and it's a fashion wear. It's just precious. So those I will continue to make for anybody who, well, I would say for anybody who wants them, but I'm probably mean to say locally. I think we will figure out a way to through those venues so that you can get them, purchase them through the venues wherever they end up. So so I used to have my hats in like 9 stores, and years and years and years ago. So do I want them in that many stores now? No. And I don't even know if there are that many stores nowadays to put them in. But okay, so let's pick another yarn here. I'm gonna pick a nice thick one right here. Okay, so this should show up so you can see. So what you're gonna do, it's super duper simple. You have your 4 corners there, very, very clear. in between your sets of 3 double crochets. So pick one of those corners, pick one, put your crochet needle through. And now some people start just making their double crochets and others do the chain 3. I simply do the chain 3 because I notice it does make a little bit of a difference in the structure. So you bring your yarn through and then do 1, 2, 3. I'm going to pull that down. And before I tie that and all, I do a little knot. And when I'm putting the tail through, I do it on a slant. So, in other words, not just straight through. I weave it through. So, okay, that counts. Chain 3 counts as 1 double crochet. So now we're going to do another one. That's 2 double crochet. And now we're going to do another one. Whoops. That's 3 double crochet. Now you're going to chain 2. And in making your corners, it's very, very important. You're doing 2 sets of 3 double crochets. So stay in that space and do 3 more double crochet. So this is how we complete our round. We start our rounds and continue our rounds of our granny squares. So now you do 1, 2, and you're going to go into the next space, which is right here. And again, you're going to do, that's your corner, and you're building your corners. So you're going to do your 3 double crochet again, and chain 2, stay in that space, and do 3 more double crochet. And that is how you do your granny squares. And you go like that straight around. Now with this particular project, I am going to use all different colors. I just really want it to be beautiful, and I'm going to stay with thick, like I said, heavy yarn, medium weight at the very least. So I just did my chain 2, and I'm going into my next space. Now I do stop and tie these tails before I get too far, unless you want to take a full day of tying tails, because you can. It can be time consuming, and but it's very important to get them tied and hidden. And I will tell you, I've gone through my work sometimes to take apart, and I can't get it apart. That's how much I lock in my tails, for a better way of saying it. Okay, now we're on our last corner right here. 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 3 double crochet, chain 2, and there we go. Oops, now you see that kind of caught the thread a little, so I'm going to pull that. I want to do that again. And that's something you got to watch for with thread yarn, if it splits at all. Okay, so this is our last set. And there's our granny square. Now we're gonna chain. Let's do our chain. 1, 2, and then we're going to count. You count your little spaces here. 1, 2, 3. And you're going to put it in space, pull it. I'm going to get my scissors, and we're going to tie it off. Oops. And I drop. There we go. Okay, and I typically do another knot before, because that's just kind of keeping it in place. It's not a true knot I just did. So, let me get these out of the way so you can see the granny square. Granny squares are just so cute. It just seriously, look at that. Is that just not adorable? So I will keep you with me posted on creating this blanket. I took a couple of these and I was debating if I should use any of those to start building my granny square. So when you do this again, you're going to start um, in your space, in your corner, right here, and then you're going to chain two, go into this space, and this middle space for your third round, and where you're starting to go around, do one set of 3 double crochet. When you get to your corner, make sure you do two. That's where you're always doing your 2 sets of double crochet, of 3 double crochet. So I hope that that helps, and I hope that you have a beautiful day. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will be sharing some other projects with you. I will be getting together some of the silky blended fabrics that I have. I have a whole drawer full of them, and I will start cutting them into circles because guess what? One of the viewers suggested, can you make a silky yo-yo quilt, a yo-yo fabric scarf? So I have all the beautiful silky, and we're going to do that. And I think you're going to be surprised at just how easy it flows and how beautiful it is. So that's another project this week. I'll be bouncing around on all these projects. I will bring you with me and to completion. So, with that, you have an absolutely beautiful Saturday, and I send you love and light and blessings.